Hello, hello, all you lovely people. Professor Gray here with another module. But wait, before I show you this, my wife literally just sent this picture to me of our two of our cats. We have too many cats, but two of the cats. That's there. Panini's the white cat, and Meriwether's the kind of I don't know how you describe that, but the white cat with the spots. Oh, my kitties, I miss them so much. And yes, you know why Panini is called Panini.
Hey, Panini.
What do you think I'd name him after? A sandwich police? Anyway, so now we're halfway. I think we're halfway through module number 3 of the course. So, again, we're asking ourselves, unit 3. Yes, unit 3. We're halfway through. Do the interests of others matter? That's what we've been considering in this unit. And so far, we've seen two sorts of answers coming from egoism, how they respond. So first, there's the answer from psychological egoism, which says the interests of others can never matter to us. It's human nature that we only care about our own interests. So again, remember, that's a descriptive claim from psychology, hence psychological egoism. But on the other hand, we saw ethical egoism, and that said that the interests of others should never matter to us, should never matter to us. Yeah, according to this, Ayn Rand said, recall, that satisfying the interests of others, this turns you into a prostitute where you're selling your freedom of choice, of volitional choice to satisfy others. Yeah, you're just a prostitute, she says. But anyway, that is a normative claim about ethics and morality now. So we've seen two kinds of egoism, a descriptive version, that's like, again, psychology, human nature, and then a normative ethical egoism about how we should behave. And of course, we concluded the last module with this principle of equal treatment from James Rachel's and Stuart Rachel's. Again, according to the principle of equal treatment, we should treat people in the same way unless there is a relevant difference between them. And we saw this is why racism, this is why sexism, this is why all forms of bigotry fail, is that they arbitrarily try to prefer one group of people over another. And Rachel's just extend that same idea to ethical egoism. They argue that from a moral point of view, we're all equal. There's nothing that makes me more morally special than you, and vice versa, of course. We're all morally equal. And so morality should or must include some kind of recognition of the needs, for other people. They matter. It's not just me, because my life isn't the only thing that matters in the world. There are other things that matter as well. And that's a pretty powerful insight, I think, we get for normative ethics. Now, just recall, right, we're doing a unit on normative ethics. And again, normative ethics just has us state and defend basic moral principles. So it seems, in this case, what we've seen so far is that our basic moral principles seem to have to include at least some responsiveness to the needs of other people. And so again, Unit 3 is asking us, do the interests of others matter? And so we're starting to see this idea that, unless you want to go down the path of egoism, though lots of problems down that path, that at least in some sense, others should matter to us, at least in some way. We haven't said how. That's going to be the rest of the course, probably. But before we kind of go down that, I think we can take this insight from the principle of equal treatment and bring it into applied ethics. Yeah, we have another kind of applied ethics module here. Because recall that applied ethics, what does it do? Applied ethics is what has us ask what should be done in this specific case or on this specific issue. And so for this module, the issue that we'll be looking at is what, if anything, should we, and that's you and I, so me, you, everyone, what should we be doing about world poverty? And we'll focus on just one answer to this question from Peter Singer. He's still alive. I think he's at Princeton now. Peter Singer. Now, this paper of his, it's an older one. I think it's from the 70s, if I remember correctly. It's very famous. And it's extremely famous and extremely controversial. And so I hope we see some interesting discussions on Twitter about it for sure. In any case, I think this paper from Singer is good for us in this class. Even, again, it's older, but you don't need, there's always world poverty or famine, and these things keep happening. So, but why I like this article for us in this intro ethics class is I think is this our first real opportunity to really see the full idea of that minimum conception of morality that Rachel's give us. Now, recall, I'll throw it up there. The quote about the minimum conception is, recall that this really says two things about ethics and morality. First of all, this conception says that ethics and morality is about using reason. Yeah, we've seen this a lot, right? Moral reasoning. I was like all of Unit 1. And now here in Unit 3, we're coming on the second part of the minimum conception, that ethics and morality is about considering the interests of others. And Singer's paper does both, right? He's presenting an argument, and this is a pretty wild, I don't know if wild's the right word. I'll just say it's a very simple, deceptively easy-looking argument, and he does believe he says explicitly he thinks it's sound, so he thinks it's, going to do all that. But also it's going to argue that we have to consider the interests of others, especially those, of course, who are in poverty. So we're seeing all of that minimum conception, again, that we have to use reason and that we need to be responsive to the needs of and interests of everyone. So he's just applying this all now to the issue of world poverty. So a nice little applied ethics unit. I like this topic a lot about world poverty. And so now to introduce us to this issue of world poverty, I have always your favorite substitute teacher, Mr. Green. I know we love this guy. I'm jealous. I know we all wish we could be him. Is that true? I don't know. I wish I had his budget for graphics, that's for sure. But as always, be a good student for Mr. Green. Pay attention. And after that, we'll come back here and I will flesh out the argument that Peter Singer is making in his paper. All right, see you back in a few.